10 planes, who mysteriously disappeared.
Southwest 1380, doesn't matter. We'll work it out there. So the airport's just off to your right, reported in flight, please.
Number 10. Cessna 182L. On October 21, 1978, 20-year-old Frederick Valentich disappeared during a flight in his Cessna 182L. Frederick flew over the Bass Strait between Tasmania and mainland Australia. At 7 p.m., he reported on radio that some strange spaceship followed him. Air traffic control responded, saying there was nothing on radar. Valentich described that the aircraft is very large and has a strange shape. Air traffic control asked him to identify the craft. Finally, Frederick stated that it isn't an aircraft, this is a UFO. And after that Frederick lost contact with air traffic control. He mysteriously disappeared and was never seen again. Number 9. Antonov A-32. An Antonov An-32 twin-engine turboprop transport aircraft of the Indian Air Force disappeared with 29 people on board while flying over the Bay of Bengal in July 2016. Pradesh lost contact with ground control about 33 minutes after takeoff. There were 29 people on board at the time, 23 passengers and 6 crew members. Radar had no clue about the plane. The search and rescue operation became India's largest search operation for a missing plane on the sea in history, involving submarines, surface vessels and aircraft. Then after so much effort, the mission was called off in September with no trace recovered. All aboard were presumed dead and their families were notified. Number 8. Flight 19. Flight 19 was the designation of a group of 5 Grumman TBM Avenger torpedo bombers that disappeared over the Bermuda Triangle on December 5, 1945. Bermuda Triangle is very dangerous, which take a lot of planes and ships. These bombers were the U.S. top ships and Navy killer. In the afternoon on December 5, after 4 hours after they took off, they vanished. The bombers were experiencing serious navigation issues in and around the Bermuda Triangle. Their compasses were non-functional, and they were running out of fuel by their last transmission. Then a plane with 13 members going to rescue her, and it also disappeared. Navy investigators could not determine the exact cause of the loss of Flight 19. Even today it is the unsolved mystery. Number 7. Pilot Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart was an American aviation pioneer and author, who was the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. On July 2, 1937, during an attempt to make a circumnavigational flight of the globe in a Purdue-funded Lockheed Model 10E Electra, Earhart disappeared over the central Pacific Ocean near Howland Island. Many theories made on Earhart's disappearance, including plane ran out of fuel, captured by the Japanese Army and many others. After 2 years of her long search, Amelia Earhart declared dead in absentia. But none of her planes and her body were found. Number 6. Star Tiger, which disappeared without a trace over the Atlantic Ocean, while on a flight between Santa Maria in the Azores and Bermuda in the early morning of January 30, 1948. The Star Tiger was flown by 2 experienced pilots in strong winds and rain at an unusually low cruising altitude. But suddenly it get off from radar. It is suggested that a sudden, strong gust of wind could have forced the plane into the ocean, or that altimeter failure could have made the pilots gently pitch the plane into the water. While another reason is the Bermuda Triangle responsible for its disappearance. The U.S. Air Force personnel operating the airfield immediately, 26 aircraft flew 882 hours in total, and surface craft also conducted a search, but no signs of Star Tiger. 31 passengers and crew were ever found. Number 5. BSAA, Avril Lancastrian Stardust. In August 1947, Stardust, a British South American Airways airliner, vanished as it flew between Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Santiago, Chile. The experts didn't find any reason why it suddenly disappeared from the sky. An extensive search operation failed to locate the wreckage, despite covering the area of the crash site, and the fate of the aircraft. It became a mystery, where the plane. It was accused that aliens is responsible for it. But later, after 50 years, in 1998, 2 Argentine mountaineers found the wreckage of aircraft engine, along with twisted pieces of metal and shreds of clothing, in the Tupungato Glacier. Then realized that the plane was crashed due to high-speed wind. Number 4. Star Arial. Another aircraft of British South American Airways, named Star Arial, who was lost on January 17, 1949. Very little is known about what caused it lost. It disappeared over the Atlantic Ocean while on a flight between Bermuda and Kingston. And in their way there was Bermuda Triangle. The pilots were experienced, the weather was excellent, and the sky was cleared. The captain chose a high-altitude flight path to best take advantage of the excellent conditions. Despite a large search operation headed by a U.S. Navy task force, no traces of wreckage, fuel, debris, or bodies were ever found, and the mystery remains unsolved to this day. Number 3. An 844AA. On May 25, 2003, a Boeing 727 registered, an 844AA, was stolen at Quatro de Fevereiro Airport, Angola. Before sunset, likely to be 5 p.m. local time, 2 men boarded the aircraft. One of them was an American pilot and the other was a hired mechanic. The aircraft made its way onto the runway without clearance and without communicating with the control tower. The tower officers tried to make contact, but there was no response. With no lights, the aircraft took off, heading southwest over the Atlantic Ocean, then suddenly vanished. The disappearance of an 844AA prompted a worldwide search by the FBI and the CIA. Neither the aircraft nor the 2 men have been seen since, and no debris from the aircraft has been found on land or sea. The mystery of an 844AA is the question mark for our advanced world. Number 2. Flight MH370. The disappearance of Flight 370 has been dubbed one of the greatest aviation mysteries of all time. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 disappeared while flying from Kuala Lumpur International Airport to its destination, Beijing Capital International Airport. $150 million spent on its search, which is the most expensive search operation in aviation history. But it failed to turn up any evidence of the large aircraft. A total of 227 passengers and 12 crew members were aboard the Boeing 777 and all presumed dead. A lot of conspiracy theory add on the plane disappearing, but even today, with the most advanced technology, the plane has not been found and listed in the mystery. Number 1. Flight 914. That's one of the most terrible disappearing. On July 2, 1995, Pan American 914 took off from New York to Miami, Florida on a bright weather condition. There were 57 passengers on the plane. After 3 hours of takeoff, the plane was not on the radar. It vanished. It thought that the plane was crashed. Then the rescue team took action and started searching, but they didn't find any single piece of plane. There was no idea what happened with Flight 914. The plane was listed in the disappearing list and all passengers presumed dead. But the real mystery starts now. After 37 years, on September 9, 1992, an unknown plane found on radar at Caracas Airport in Venezuela, which was very old. The pilot of the plane contacted with controller and said, "Where are we?" The controller replied, "You're at Caracas Airport." Then the plane landed on airport. The controller replied, "Do you know it is September 9, 1992? The pilot said, "What are you talking about? Today is July 2, 1995 and our flight is on schedule from New York to Miami, Florida." The controller shocked. Then pilot started the engine and again took off. The controller tried to stop him, but he flew away and disappeared from radar and never seen again. And here is another videos for you, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel.